Hola mi gente, bienvenidos to the launching of the Penny Chronicles. It's our very first episode. My name is Laura Chavez Orozco. Thank you for joining us. Just a quick intro to the Penny Chronicles. The Penny Chronicles came about 2 years ago. I was hosting a lot of impromptu dinners, or we'd go to our watering hole and we're discussing life. And what was happening was that I was noticing that people were really taking to the conversations. So we'd have these roundtable talks and we discuss issues that you're going to see today. And hopefully you guys, get some info out of it, and whatever questions you have, I think we can all relate to the Chronicles and how it's going. So I'm a social worker by profession, and the thing that I do is I love to talk to people. What we would do with the Penny Chronicles when they were impromptu is to get everybody to open up around the table. It was a very safe place, and it allowed everybody to express what they were feeling at that time. I want to start off by saying a huge thank you. This would not have happened if it weren't for our production company. Thank you, Joe, Psycho Uncensored. Thank you, Linda, his wife, our camera woman. Sin ustedes.
You're welcome.
El Joe, no pusiste el aplauso. Qué rollo. Thank you, Psycho Uncensored. Thank you guys for opening your studio and your doors to us. We really appreciate it. So I'm super duper excited to introduce our panel. These are friends who have been a huge impact in my life, who I would not be here this last year if it weren't for these very amazing people. I want to start off with my very, very good friend, social worker as well, Mr. Angel Moreno. Gracias, Angel.
Hola.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling relaxed. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk to people. I like to talk to people anyway, so.
Good. Thank you. I know schedules are hard. So, gracias.
Sundays are my lazy day anyway, so.
There we
we'll
go. Join us for our lazy day. Oh, before we get started, y'all, pull out your drink. This is a podcast that's going to make you relax. You know, you're going to have fun. Take a second. Go pull out your wine, your shot, your drink. Join us with our podcast. A big welcome to my confidant for the last year. Really couldn't have done this year without you. My Belle, my Cali girl, Maribel Aldaco.
Thank you.
¿Cómo andas? Ready, girl?
I'm great, I'm ready.
Good. And then I've got a very, very amazing friend that I've known since we were 15 years old. So super enlightened that my good friend from middle school, cuando nos correteábamos con la football. But thank you, Albert Avila, for joining us. And I do have to say that we say Albert Avila
and Laura
Chavez. So thank you for being here, my friend.
Hey,
it
no,
means
thank
a
you
lot.
for inviting me. I appreciate it.
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Listos?
I'm excited.
Okay. So the topic for our conversation today, guys, is something that maybe the audience can relate to as well. So we're going to discuss dating dynamics. Many of us, we've all dated, and we've been there. Maybe some are in relationships now. But I kind of want to touch base on the dynamics that we go through when we're dating. You could be dating into a year, and what dynamics we're going through. And the question that I want to start off with first is, I want to know how you guys are choosing your partners. And I want you guys to see the dynamics between a male and a female. But I'll leave it up to y'all. But how are y'all choosing your partner that you decide to date?
¿Y los casados no?
Y los casados, no. Linda, I think Linda needs to get her mic. Yeah, Linda has to get her mic. It's gonna differ because we all and that's how we used to have the impromptu at the Penny Bar. Shout out to the Penny Bar, but that's how it started. So tell me, guys, how are you choosing your partners? Looks, emotional stability. Why don't we start off with our Belle? A ver, Belle. You're putting you on the spot, Belle.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Yeah. What is it that you're looking for when you give that time?
Emotional stability.
Emotional stability.
Yes,
what does
that's
that
very
entail?
important. That's very important to me.
Platícanos what that entails to you.
They have to be, it just depends if they've gotten out of a relationship, what they're looking for, what they want in a relationship. They just got to be healed and ready to just step it up.
Yeah, I know that Maribel and I have, we go out and we have our happy hours and our drinks, and Maribel's Belle's a beautiful girl. And the thing with Belle that I really, really admire is that she picks wisely and she chooses wisely. And yes, we get drinks offered, all that, pero we don't, what her and I discussed there is we don't go based on looks. We really go and want to choose a date that's going to add to our life. Our lives are busy, and so
It's going to bring peace.
oh my God, key point right there, y'all.
No project.
Peace. So that's one of the dynamics that we talk about a lot. We don't want a project. Yeah, we're, older women. We don't want a project. We don't want to be a project to anybody.
I think we're at that point in our lives where we know what we want.
See, exactly. So that's our goal.
And I totally agree with that.
See,
Yeah.
Albert.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want a project. You don't want to fix people. But I think there's different dynamics when you're looking. I mean, coming from a guy, I think that attraction has to do a lot with it.
Right.
If you don't have that attraction, to me, the fire, the spark, the wanting to hold, the cariños, and always wanting to be with them plays an important part.
I agree.
True.
So I think both are important.
Yes.
Very, very true. How about for you, Angel? What do you think?
Yeah, I might be a little different. I think it's definitely a physical attraction at first. You have to find that special thing that kind of draws you to the person, I think. It sounds a little shallow maybe, but at first you have to have that, that natural, unless you're talking to the person. Obviously, it depends on the context of it.
Right.
I think eventually you kind of find out whether that person is who you thought or hoped they would be. But I think initially, physical attraction is probably it. Again, if you're in a context where you're like talking to this person or you're introduced to this person, you kind of get a little bit more insight into how they are or, who they really are.
I totally agree with you, and I wonder if this is where we differ, because a lot of times you guys do the approaching. You guys go and either send drinks to the girl. Me and Maribel can sit there and we get approached. So do we have say in it? Absolutely. So within the first 30 seconds of meeting somebody, let's say for me and Maribel, or for you guys walking into un antro por ahí, donde se van a echar una buena chela, do you know within the first 30 seconds if you find that person attractive?
I would say within
Yes.
the first 30 seconds,
Yeah, I would-
you definitely are like, oh man,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because
Something catches
you
your
walk
eye,
into a
right?
bar, you're going to focus on something that you like.
Yeah, you scan first.
Yes, exactly. You do.
So tell us about that. I want to hear about that. How do y'all do the scanning?
man.
I mean,
that's a good
first
one.
you got to see who's out there. You've got to see the type of person that you're attracted to, and if it's somebody that you think might have chemistry, and you want to make sure that they're not with anybody else as well. So
Right.
you just don't want to go up to any female.
Oh, true,
If you
true.
see them there with another male, you can't
Sí,
just
scanning.
walk up.
Again, depends on how you approach it. Like if you're married, you're going in there, you're just kind of like scoping. But if you're single, anyways, when I walk in, I still scan. Like what's going on here?
Muy bien.
Yeah.
So those guys that are scanning us when me and Belle go and have our drinks, and they're just scanning and not approaching, married? Are they married? Are they shy?
Yeah, are you talking about like if you're married or
No,
the
no.
person?
Like me and Belle can go to a happy hour and we sit
Right.
there, and there's some real bold guys who just show up or send drinks. But how about those scanners? Because you touch base right now on even if you're married and you go have a drink, maybe you'll still scan the room.
Yeah. So in my dating experience, sorry, man, I've never been one of those bold guys. I've always kind of just, I've waited for a signal first, in a sense. Like I don't like bothering people, so I typically wait for a look or smile,
Right.
or,
Yep,
and I'll say
definitely.
hello. Maybe from there I'll find out
An
whether it's
opening.
someone-
You're looking for an
Right, right.
opening.
Like what? Like say.
I don't know. I mean, if let's say you and Belle are there and you walk up and you see them, and if there's no male around you, then hey, how are you? Introduce yourself, or would you like a drink? But it just depends on the
Okay.
occasion, on what's going on. I mean, if the music's too loud and they can't hear you, well, I mean, it's going to be difficult to just go up to a woman and say, hey, how
Yeah.
are you? My name is so and so, and
We
Or
just
would you
talked
like a
about that
drink?
yesterday, man, Albert. If it's too, si el antro está muy recio, no, yeah.
Yeah.
We're at an age
yeah,
que no.
definitely.
So entonces, Belle, maybe that's where you and
Well,
I.
I have a question. You
Yeah.
said if you're married or single, you still scan if you're married?
I think naturally we all kind of look.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a
Yeah.
natural.
It's
I
Yeah.
can agree with
this,
that.
yeah. If you're
Sí.
married,
Hey, ándale, Linda.
Yes, Linda.
Well,
and-
you know
and
what?
It's true. I mean,
Listen, Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda.
Hey,
La Linda. We
there's
need a
always
mic on
gonna,
Linda.
there's always going to be eye candy.
Right.
I mean, if somebody's beautiful, you're going to see, oh wow, she's beautiful. You are not going to. If you're married, you're not going to take that step and try to. Well, at least in my case.
No.
I'm not gonna try-
Everybody does it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Linda.
See, through our studies, I remember some of our studies when we were in school. I mean, they'll show a picture of la bruja de, ¿cómo se llama? The Wizard of Oz. Y está la ugly witch y la bonita witch. And they'll show it to a baby, like a 9-month-old baby. And honestly, the baby will cry con la bruja, la fea, but relate to the pretty one. So I think it's natural for people
yeah.
to
yeah, you're going to look.
Oh,
You're-
yeah.
See?
I guess us
It's-
females do that too.
sí.
Right, yeah.
¿Y cómo le hacemos que
Thank
no nos
you.
miren?
It's what you do
Hey, we
with the
do
look that
scan.
matters.
Doradito.
I think naturally we have to acknowledge those things, right? If we're suppressing these emotions, then it's going to make you uncomfortable to be with your partner, right? Like, obviously, you don't want to be disrespectful in that situation. But if you're by yourself, it's okay. Just acknowledge what's going on. I mean, if you're faithful, you're faithful.
And I appreciate that because I know that I've been in relationships and stuff, and for the most part, they've been super respectful. But does it cause a little bit of defeat when somebody walks in and obviously she's attracted to, I'll look at an attractive female, but if he looks and he's disrespectful about it, that's
Well,
super hard. Have
y-
you,
Yeah, we've
Belle,
been
yeah.
there. We've been there. When
Yeah.
they're with their
Yeah, well-
wife or their girlfriend, and they're just
see?
like, break
Yeah, that's,
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's different. I mean, if you're there and you're gawking and you're there with your wife or your girlfriend, and I mean, yeah, that's being disrespectful.
It deflates you. It kind of deflates you. So, everything mindful.
It's like, let me slap him for you.
See. Oh yeah, and I think that happens a lot when we're out in the community and walking around, and when somebody, turns and looks at you y trae el carrito lleno en el Walmart.
El
De
baby-
niños
el
y
baby in
todo.
the high
En el
chair.
Walmart.
Sí, ahí en el Walmart y te están tirando el, ay, you're like, oh, that's mad disrespectful.
Are you scanning me?
I know. You scanning me? Don't
That's a good one.
scan me. That's a good one.
That's a good pickup line, actually.
Write it down, babe. It's
El
a t-shirt.
scanning, el scanning.
I was over there and I noticed you scanning me. So
I think Linda needs a mic for sure. Linda has a lot to say. And so, guys, how do you go about it? This is a question for all three of you. If you're at a bar and you meet somebody that within those 30 seconds has potential, how do you go about asking them for the first date? Do you know that you want to take this person out to dinner? A ver, Angel.
within 30 seconds.
No,
I-
within you've approached her because you found her attractive
and
within
they
those 30
responded.
seconds. She responded, you're having a drink. How do you know that you want to do an invite for a formal date?
No, it takes way more than 30
Yeah.
seconds. You have to have
See?
conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. I
Wow.
agree.
And
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
different, ¿verdad? Because we're like, no me invitó
You
a
guys think it's
cenar.
30 seconds and that's
No,
it?
no. Pero let's say that they join your table, you guys play some darts, you listen to some music, you exchange numbers. And we're hopeful that, you get to know each other. When do you guys make the move to invite that girl on the first date?
Well, once you ask for that phone number, you know that you've already got a shoe in. So
How-
that sets the stage.
And how soon do you ask for the first date? Are you waiting for a few days of text messaging?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume that you would ask, hey, when do you have a day off? Or when are you free? Or try to, I guess, be smooth about it.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know how you feel, Maribel. Do you appreciate that? Because I don't want to text somebody for a darn week and be like, ay, güey, pues ya
Yeah.
invítame, güey, ya.
becomes-
Like, no.
I
Y
don't like to
invítame.
get my time wasted.
You don't want to,
I don't like
exactly.
to waste my time.
Right.
Or no one wasting my time.
But there's nothing wrong with a female asking either.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Oh. I'm
Like
old
approach-
school.
like
That's
approach-
hard.
You
to-
really?
Yeah, approaching or even mentioning it.
So guys like that.
Yeah. Why not?
So you want us to ask you out on the first date? Like for me, that's not gonna
Well, I guess it depends on your upbringing. because,
Oof.
I mean,
Mami,
me-
papi.
Laura and myself, I'm sure, have the older type
Yeah.
generational
Yeah.
thoughts of, or the man is the one who's supposed to ask out first. But nowadays, I
Absolutely.
mean,
That's
the
it.
new
We need
Yeah.
some spring
True.
chickens here to find out what's
True.
going on.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
For the next episodes, I'm gonna do different podcasts that includes all ages. But I think we mimic our ages. So what do you think, Angel? Like, how would you feel if I meet you that night? We take it while we're texting, and I do the first invite.
I'm 100% okay with that. I think that nowadays with social media and texting, everybody texts, nobody calls, right? I think you're able to. That's a continuation of the date. So texting is okay. You know, that's when you really find out probably a little bit more. Can somebody carry a conversation, right? Because if you're asking the same questions, you're probably gonna lose me. You know, it's gonna
Right.
get boring. And yeah. I mean, I think that's where you really like get into the. Hey, is this really the person that I want to hang out with, right?
Yep, yep.
So it's
See.
a continuation of the date in a sense. Obviously, you already know if you've been texting for a month, it's probably
Oh,
not
God,
not
yeah.
gonna- it's a
Going
little too
anywhere.
long, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a question
Get
for
burned
my
out.
bell. See,
Yeah, you get burned out. And the conversation is important
absolutely, the
Because-
rapport.
because if a man is doing all the asking, if the man is doing all the questioning,
How are you doing? Fine.
yep.
How's your day going? Good.
How was your week?
Two-word
It was
response.
good.
Okay. How did you sleep? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That's
no.
important. I
So
mean,
building rapport through the texting y todo. To my bell, let's say that we go out, you meet somebody on a Saturday, and you're texting, and it's Wednesday. Do you want him to solidify a date for that weekend, or because you mentioned earlier that you don't want to waste your time?
Yeah. Well, it depends. It just depends on, like how you said, the conversation, how it flows.
Let's say it's
someone
flowing
I wanna,
great.
go out with.
Yeah, let's
Go
say
on
it's
a date
flowing
with-
great.
Yeah.
You would want that weekend
I mean,
date.
not that I'd want it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. Like I'm not out looking.
But do
that
you
point.
but do you lose hope if it doesn't happen within the next 2 weekends?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. See.
do you expect the guy to do it, or are you okay with doing it yourself?
doing what?
Like
Asking
asking for
him
the
out.
first date.
Oh no, I won't ask unless I really, 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 really like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
I
really, really
love
like
to
him.
have the younger generation, as you guys were saying. Are the younger girls doing the asking? Because I know that I'm not gonna ask. Like I just can't. It like you said, Albert, our upbringing. No anden de aprontonas. That was the infamous words of my tias. How about you, Albert? Let's say you meet somebody on a Saturday, the texting is going amazing, le hablaste después del trabajo y te contestó y fue súper. By when will you do the invite? How soon do you want to see her again?
I would say within the first few days.
Eso,
But the
eso.
conversation has to be there, though.
Right.
You have to feel that flow.
Right.
If there's no flow, then why even ask?
Exactly. Yeah,
Why waste your time?
exactly. See, so
But
super important because I think a lot of times it's so superficial lately. I mean, this has been happening for a long time. You go out, you meet somebody, and you build a rapport, pero then they go ghost, and you're like,
Yeah.
o estaba casado, o estaba casada, or was there no interest? Are they filling a void? Like that's the dynamics that we're seeing now, you know.
Yeah, and ghosting is the worst.
Oh,
I hate that. I mean, you can be talking to a female and then all of a sudden they stop.
see.
I kind of find it a little disrespectful, but
Yeah,
I think it has to do with our generation. It's like you having a conversation, it's just and you just walk off. You know, that's
Yeah.
extremely disrespectful. But I think obviously with social media, it's a lot easier for people to do that. So definitely generational wise, nowadays it's more through social media. It's not that personal contact. And I mean, if you don't talk to anybody again on social media, you're not going to see them again.
Right.
You know, obviously, if you go somebody and then you see them, that's going to be awkward.
Right.
So I find that very disrespectful I would at least say, hey, you know, I'm not attracted to you. See you later. I'd rather somebody say that to me than just cut it off.
I agree. Like, what's the difficulty about telling somebody, "Eesh."
You know
Okay,
what? I don't feel it.
Yeah, I do this all the time. I rather explain it because a mí ahora if they ghost me, pues bueno, you know, oh, they ghosted me, pues okay, I can't help who you are, but I don't want to inflict that stress on anybody. Like, I'm hopeful that I don't do that, you know. Now, if they don't get the hint after you've said it several times, but I think that everybody deserves an explanation. You know, we didn't connect. I'm dealing with my past, things like that. Pero, what do you think, Maribel? Bel, what do you think about ghosting? I know we've had this discussion in our
Yeah,
impromptu.
You
I
ghosted.
think it's very disrespectful. But I think so. You guys are telling me you guys never ghosted before.
Not really, no.
But you have.
No. I mean, like Laura was saying, just be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
it's
feel it,
disrespectful.
or-
I mean, I think I've done it.
Yeah,
To be honest,
we
I've
have
done it.
because we
But I've
talked
done
about
it
it.
because there's reasons. Like, oh no, like
El fastidio,
Yes.
yeah, where it's like,
Oh, that leads into another thing.
a ver,
Too.
échale,
El
échale.
fastidio.
El fastidio.
When is it too much texting?
Ooh.
or it could
Or
just
not
be
That's a-
something they did or said to where
Yeah.
you're like, that's it.
I think that's a conversation that you and I had early on when we reunited. Like, when is texting too much? Like, when is it too much? And I think, honestly, that if it's the right person, it's never going to be too much. Like, if
That's a
it's
good point.
the right person. Pero if it's not the right person, and then take their signs. I know that, well, this is what I do. If it's become too much because I'm working, and I send an emoji face or a thumbs up, that means that I have to kind of end the conversation right there and then because work.
But do you explain that to them ahead of time? Because not everybody would understand that.
Oh, tell me about that.
I mean, you send me a thumbs up. I don't know that you're busy.
Okay.
I think you're just agreeing or you're okay
See.
with whatever I just said or whatever the conversation was. But if I know that you've told me, I don't know, maybe in the morning, hey, I have a meeting at so and so, or
Ándale.
hey, I'm gonna be doing this at the store or something.
Right.
Then I know you're busy
See.
because I'm not gonna hear.
Or you could simply say, hey, when I'm at work, I can't text.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
just be honest and communicate it.
I think a phone call is better than a text
I agree.
because texting, it's a lot of
Yeah,
misunderstanding. We read it a different way, and sometimes I send text messages and they might take it a different way, and it's a whole different meaning.
Lost in translation, the
Yeah.
text. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about emotional maturity here. And if somebody really, let's say you're having an argument with your significant other, you can't pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm distressed about ABC. Don't text me and tell me, especially if you're in a committed relationship. Let's talk about it. It's emotional maturity. Pero
Definitely.
no, sí. So how do you guys feel when you're arguing with your significant other, and if anybody, or in the past, I don't, you know, we're not gonna shed who's
I
in
need a beer. That's what I typically think. I was gonna say, you know, like a little bit on the phone call. I prefer a phone call, but also I've dated younger women, and that's a little different because that's what they do. They love to text.
Mhm.
So I think you have to kind of adjust according to, you know, to generation. So I've dated girls that, you know, they're like, I'll send them a text and I know they're busy, so they'll respond 8 hours later. I'm okay with that. And as far as like, if you're fighting with your significant other, well, like, if you're fighting, you gotta find an outlet, man.
Yeah,
Beer.
definitely.
Okay, so we had a little pause. We had a little mic mishap, pero I want to really reach out to our community. I want to say thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. Please leave your comments, your suggestions, a penny for your thoughts. Not everybody has a community that you feel that there's trust, and the panel today is a relationship where we will have hours of discussion. And every time we have these discussions, we feel enlightened. Haven't we left phone calls, dinners, drinks where you just feel like the weight of your world was off your shoulders? So please, gente, leave us messages, leave us comment, follow us on Psycho Uncensored on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And if there's something that you all need us to address during one of these podcasts, we're here. Por favor.
We'll leave the links in the.
Sí, we'll leave the links on there, y'all. Pero de veras, I know that it's sometimes hard to trust people. And the thing with our crew that we have is there's no judgment. We have the best talks. How do y'all feel after our talks?
Good. I mean, it's great talk.
They're great talks.
Yeah,
We
I
feel
enlightened.
You learn something.
enlightened.
Yeah.
You learn something.
Sí.
Yeah.
I know when Angel and I have our conversations, parece clase terapia y gratis, ¿verdad? Nomás nos costó una
Our existential questions.
Social worker.
our social, sí, and we come from the heart. It's like a no judgment zone, you know. Pero bueno, listos para la otra preguntita.
Just do
A
it.
ver qué
Go
es.
for it.
Okay, so let's say you've been talking to somebody you've been working the rapport for about 2-3 weeks, salieron en el first date. Do you know on that very first date if there's going to be a second date?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Y let's say que no.
Yes.
How do you? Okay, so let's touch on that first. How do you know that there's going to be a second date?
It just depends on how good the
te la
conversation
pasaste?
is,
¿Cómo
or
te
how
la
are you getting
pasaste?
along.
Sí.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. The conversation's important.
So what would somebody do to deter you from a second date?
So I think what's important is the things that you discuss on that first date. I mean, your likes, your interests, your hobbies. You know, if there's no, I mean, you ask that person on what they like, what they don't like, and so that plays a lot.
Right.
I mean, it could be that, like me, I'm a hunter, so I like to go hunting. If that female doesn't like hunting, I mean, it may or may not be a deal breaker, but it's just different.
Y que si no le gusta hunting,
And there's nothing wrong with that. I was just.
pero
but
que
it
si
could
no,
be other-
what if she's a vegetarian?
That's probably.
Is that a
something-
deal
Yeah.
breaker for you?
Do question? Do you scan your hunt too?
Eso, mi Joe.
You walk in there with a collar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like, would that be a big deal breaker si no come carne?
I would, if it was me, yeah, I think it would be
See?
something that I'd have to weigh and consider, because that's a lifestyle change,
Right,
and then it's something that you have to consider for the future.
right.
If I love eating meat and you don't like any meat, then what's that gonna do when you go to parties, when you go to restaurants, when you go, you know, the type of things that could be important.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's where you get to know.
And I don't think we're
type of
shallow
person.
by making those decisions, pero it's a lifestyle. I think that at our age, maybe we're dating with a purpose. So that's my mantra. I'm dating with a purpose. It doesn't mean that I'm dating to get married or anything like that. Pero there's a purpose of this date. Porque mejor allí me quedo en la casa a ver Netflix, pero I don't want to seriously go on a date that doesn't have some sort of potential. How about you, Angel? What are some of your dating?
I think as I gotten older, it's been a little bit more, strict as far as what I want from a date. It'd have to be like things like that, like core values, right? If it's something that's really important to me, you can tell. And even though that first date people kind of mask some of that stuff,
Right,
for the
the
most
representative is out there.
part, for the most part, though,
Yeah, of course.
something slips and then you see their true self.
Yeah.
So I think those core values that are important to you, such as I can't date somebody that's not active. That would
Right.
be extremely difficult for me. Somebody that is not spontaneous, things like that are important to me. I that comes out, I think, eventually through that first date. And if during that first date it slips, the rest of the day is kind of like you just try to be polite, but it's like,
Right.
try to have a good time. But for the most part, after that, it's like, it's not going to be a second one.
Sí, exactly. No, sí.
But do you tell your date that there isn't going to be a second one?
That was my follow-up question. That's a great question, Joe.
Yeah, do
So
you?
that's,
Yeah.
that's
When
when the
do you tell
ghosting comes up, right? No. I think the body language says it all, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if it gets to that point where it's just really a bad date, see you later. Like
Yeah.
I would probably say, like, this isn't working out. Let's just
You would
go.
say it, or you would just be like, "That's
I'm at a place in my life that I would probably say something about it. Like, you know what, this is really not going
Yeah.
well. See you later.
Yeah, if
But
it's
most-
really
most
bad,
people don't.
you have to.
See.
I mean, if it's bad.
True. You know how
But-
I know if the date is bad is, and this is my opinion, pero que nos lleven a cenar. We go to dinner, and if they invite me for a drink afterwards, and I say no, the date went bad. But if they invite me, if they don't invite me to a drink after dinner, then I know they're not into the date either. Porque you spend 2 hours at dinner, you meet at 7 or 8, y apenas son las 9 en un viernes, y pues quieres ir a tomarte una buena chela.
Or he could be very committed to his career.
You're right. He may have
On a
he may
Friday.
have a strict schedule.
Or his wife?
He may have to. Yeah. He may have to get up early in the morning and go to work.
Well, and that might be discussed initially, like, let's go have dinner. Let's do an early dinner. Just so I have to be at work in the morning, so dinner's okay.
So the key word, I think, is communication, right?
Yeah.
To be able to
Absolutely.
communicate those
Sí.
things.
I
Definitely.
strongly agree with Angel and Albert.
See, what do you think, Maribel? Like, if you're having a really nice dinner but you're not feeling him, will you go for drinks afterwards with him? Put you on the spot, babe. Put you on the spot.
There are those women that would
Be
just
honest,
to
do
get
it.
that free drink.
No, but it depends. If I'm really, really not feeling them, no, I'll make an excuse like, you know what, my stomach's hurting, or I got a headache, or
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be straight up and say, you know what, I'm not feeling it.
Yo sí. Yo de plano. Like, I will not. If
No, I would, but I have done that in the past.
Yeah.
To where it's like, oh no.
I don't
But-
want to go have a drink with somebody
Yeah,
who I'm
no,
not
no,
interested after
yeah.
dinner. Ay, gracias. Gotta get up early in the morning porque pues.
But so you would not tell them, hey, I'm not feeling it. You're just gonna make an excuse.
Probably not right there and then,
Right,
just because
yeah.
my heart can
Yes.
be a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
And I get
Females
that.
are
I get that.
different.
Yeah. I mean, I get that.
See.
Yeah.
But I know myself, and I won't go to a
A
drink
second.
after that.
Oh, okay.
I won't go to a drink after that. I'd rather go home and why prolong something that I know is not happening
If you don't feel it.
if I don't feel it. The only thing with me is if I go to dinner with somebody is because I'm probably feeling it. Like, yo como un bote de tuna ahí en la casa. Like, I really don't want to even go to dinner if there's not some sort of spark with somebody, See, so
I'll call you up and we go to dinner.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing with our bond with Maribel and I. We can go and have a date
Yeah,
and whatever,
we'll
but then
have-
we're like, Mini, what's up? Where you at?
Yeah.
And then we have a
We'll go to dinner. We don't
Yeah,
need-
we'll go
take
to
each other out to
dinner.
dinner.
See, so guys, tell me about your dating age, because you were mentioning earlier. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Man.
So okay, so this is for the whole panel. How many years younger and how many years older will y'all do? Let's start with our Albert Avila.
So younger, I would probably say around 10 years, no more than 10 years younger, because that's a different generation after 10 years, I
Hasta
think.
la música.
Yeah, I mean, everything changes. Música, clothing, it's just different.
Todo.
Mm-hmm.
And have you had good experience with younger women? I mean, they're more spontaneous. No baby drama, maybe not yet.
I don't know, because I haven't dated much lately. I mean,
Okay.
so it's really hasn't been a factor.
A factor.
Yeah.
And how much older will you go?
That's a tough one, because I think on the older would have to go on the attraction,
Absolutely.
because
And the personality.
yeah, definitely, because once you're at that same age or older, everybody's got their own personality and their own
They're set in their
ways.
ways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, see.
So
And are they spontaneous? Will somebody who's 55 get up and do what you're used to, A ver, Miss Bell, how much younger and
I think I'd say maybe 10 years too.
see.
Older, probably 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
I think the max.
but she's a female, so that would be different.
I-
I would say, coming from
I couldn't go 10 years older.
Max.
No,
Max.
yo,
Max.
but I'm an older woman, so. What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
No,
it'd be different.
abuelo.
Yeah, I think it's different for a female though.
Yeah.
as
Yeah, I think
being
gender
older.
is definitely different,
Yeah.
and I think we age differently, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
I feel like younger women are attracted to older men because of stability. Obviously,
Exactly.
if you're healthy, you're stable, so they can probably provide some of the stability that I feel younger women kind of look for because they're developing their, whatever it is to be in a relationship with a man, and eventually, they obviously become they're always empowered, but they just become more aware of what they want, maybe.
Right, right.
So I feel like we switch roles. Like, when a woman's older, I don't know, maybe I've seen this or feel this, that maybe they're attracted to younger men, and then in the other way, I think a lot of younger women are attracted to older men.
Yeah, that's a good point because I know that I went through a stage in my life where my mind felt young and I was more attracted to the younger man for shallow reasons, for whatever it was. And I guess as we age, I think like Belle was saying earlier, more emotional stability, some sort of profession or career, because if we bring a lot to the table, I guess now we want our partner to mimic, and those are future podcasts, y'all. Like the stuff
Lots of
that
good ones.
See, there's lots of good ones. And before we say goodbye, échale,
Wait,
Joe.
I just want to say,
Échale, Joe.
Angel, right?
Yeah.
You didn't say how old or
Oh,
how young.
he didn't.
Ni
Did you
Laura
see how he's
tampoco,
going?
so
Bueno.
los
Bueno,
viewers
yeah.
están esperando que
Thank
digan.
you for catching
So-
that. Thank
Thank you,
you.
I
Joe.
just
Yeah,
want to be fair.
appreciate
Just want to be
Yes,
fair.
thank
We
you.
were trying to. Did you see how we're
We
skipping
deflected
over
that
it?
one.
We're like,
Hey,
Dancing
they're
around.
social workers.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
social workers.
Sí, que
Yeah,
gender,
se
que
conoce.
esto.
We're
No,
used
no,
to
no, no, no,
Let's
no.
end this podcast now.
Sí, we're used to listening, pero thank you. A ver,
I don't, obviously I'm older, so I'm not going to date an 18, 19-year-old, but I think it depends on the maturity level. Typically 26 years old is when our mind is fully developed. I think after that, you have a little bit more sense of who you are, so I'm attracted to younger women.
Right.
Because I feel like I have a young soul. Like, I like to be spontaneous. I like to be active. Older, I would probably say 5 years, depending on the personality.
Right.
You have to maintain that activity level and just that energy.
physically.
Yeah, right.
Physically.
So how much younger?
Oh,
You said just
man.
5 years
Eso, Belle.
older. You didn't say how.
I would say 15.
15 years younger.
Yes, and there is a generational difference. It depends where you're at. You can still adapt to certain generations. I mean, we have to keep learning, right? Even though there's new generations, we have to be able to interact with those people. So I feel like if you're able to just kind of learn new things and adapt to new things, you're able to function and at the same time share a lot of wisdom that you've experienced through the years. So
Right. Very true. Very,
Yeah.
very good points.
I'll throw one thing in that's important to me is that if they're the same age as my daughters, because I have older daughters, then it ain't gonna happen.
Oh, that's a freaking amazing
Yeah,
point,
so if it gets to that
Albert.
point where they're the
Yeah,
age of my
yeah, I
daughters, I
mean,
probably won't.
My daughter's about to be 30, so if she's 30, then no.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Pero
good
31
point.
see?
That's why I said 10 years younger.
Yeah.
31C? 31C?
31.
Okay.
See?
I got a 30-year-old.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sí, fíjate que sí. And for me, oh gosh, yeah, no. I honestly now I can't even go 10 years younger. Like, no, maybe 10 is my cutoff. Back then, oh yeah, my second husband was 13 years younger, and well, we got along great. I mean, no la llevamos súper. Pero no, I can't go 10 years younger and older. That's where I'm having difficulty, y'all, because people my age, oh no, they're so set in their
your age.
they're set in their ways. So for me to even say that I can go 3 years older, that's tough for me because they're set in their ways. They're not active. They don't look too well, and I'm
No,
not.
but of course, an active one, somebody that's
Pero
that's why
from my
you date.
experience, what I'm encountering now, meeting guys who are maybe 3 years, even 3 years older than me, they don't keep up well, and I'm not
I
physical.
feel you.
Pero I want somebody to mimic my energy, cause man, a mí me dices, vamos, ¿qué? ¿Dónde? ¿A qué horas? Let's go. My energy is super high, and I want a partner who we can get up and go, who's spontaneous, not looking, pero,
Yeah,
si cae algo.
I'm on that same page.
Yeah.
But 10 years older, but be like that.
Sí.
but the younger, you said no more?
No more than 10.
No more than
Yeah, I
10, okay.
can.
So you would do younger.
Oh yeah. And that's what I encounter, like guys who are younger, and it's always been my case. Pero I think through that, at one point you have to get and say, how am I failing? Damn, how the hell am I failing? And it's always been that I've dated younger gentlemen before, and I really, my hope is to date somebody my age group, or at least que ya has that emotional maturity that I value. I'm into communication and emotionally mature.
Can I throw something out there? You said
échale.
emotional stability. What about actual financial stability? 'Cause it's a factor, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it does.
yeah.
It's a big factor for me because and it doesn't mean that you have to have a lot. At least being stable.
So ya no
Yeah.
quieres hacer sugar daddy
Yeah,
tú. Ya no estás en el round para hacer sugar daddy.
Yeah, you don't want, you want somebody that's gonna bring basically things to the table as you are.
So let's say after how many dates? Because I was doing my research for the podcast, and the question arose like, after how many dates do you expect or would appreciate for the girl to offer to pay?
For me, it's right off the bat. I mean, I think naturally I would offer to pay.
Yeah.
Sí.
But right off the bat, you kind of know their stability level based on, if they offer, even if they
Yeah.
reach for their purse, that's very, that's my hat's off to you, man.
Okay.
But I feel like
Would
really,
you let them pay?
Yeah.
Would I let them pay?
Or
Probably not.
At what point would
Probably
you let them
not.
pay? After how many dates
I
would
would-
you let them pay?
I would probably say around the second or third.
Second or
Yeah.
third date?
I mean, the initial date I'm gonna pay regardless because I asked.
Yeah, because you don't want to make them feel bad
what if
either.
you
You
keep
know what I mean?
asking?
Or
Well, I mean, if you keep asking,
Then yeah, you should be the one paying,
Yeah.
right?
right? But I still feel that when a woman, like Angel said, once the woman makes that gesture to try and pay, then that actually.
So
Yeah,
then
it-
after
it's a
that,
turn on.
does it have to be a pattern?
so if
No,
they're
no, not at
adamant,
all,
obviously, if they're adamant, hey, I got this, I'm not gonna fight her for it either. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead and
But
pay.
ideally, at what date would you let her pay? Because I think as women, we're always gonna offer.
Yeah.
But in return,
you'd
that
be
says a lot.
surprised.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah. I
In
mean-
return,
That
it says a lot to
Oh,
us
that-
girls.
Sometimes that could be a turn off.
Yeah, for us,
okay,
it's a turn off.
but
is
like
like-
as a man, you're taking women out to eat, and it's the same female, and okay, you're going out to eat $60, $80, $90 meals, and then all of a sudden you're at a, you've already spent $300-400 on meals and on your dates. It's also it impacts
So-
on the man, and for a female to offer, it feels good, and it's also I
Sí.
think important because it shows that they care.
But you're saying second or third date. So I think that if you allow the woman, this is my opinion, if you allow the woman to pay on the second date, entonces ya se hizo 50-50.
Yeah.
And to us girls, that's not what we want. Because can we
Why
pay
not?
for that date?
And we'll just take ourselves on our own date.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
can pay for our own date.
Because-
Right, but what if you feel it with the guy? What
No.
if you feel
I agree.
interested? Yeah,
Because
I mean,
we're gonna feel it with a guy.
So that's my question, right? Is it
so now-
stability or
yeah,
is
so
it
now
attraction?
Now it's
No,
financial.
because nowadays, I mean, I think I could take myself out.
Yeah.
I don't need no one to take me out.
I think
Well-
it's ability and que sea caballero el hombre, because we're doing all this and that, and in return te hacemos once you're committed,
Yeah.
we'll make a nice dinner at home, but it's a little embarrassing when you're out somewhere and then you pull out your credit card and then you're like, I don't want to get into, like, for me, it's asking my opinion.
That's good dynamics right there, though, right? We saw the male and the female.
Sí,
right?
sí. Because I really don't want to pay on the second date. Not that I can't afford it or don't want to.
Yeah, that's the second
It's
date.
about me feeling like a female and you inviting me. You invited me to go on this date, and I would hope that by you inviting me, you treat me to this.
If you invite, you got to pay.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
invite,
yeah.
number one rule. Pues entonces nunca vamos a invitar yo y la bell.
How about for the ladies? Like, will attraction come into play? Like, I don't mind paying for the second
Yes.
date.
Yeah.
¿Sabes qué hago
Yeah.
yo? Like
Te
for me,
encanta.
I think so.
like for me, I have dated very, very caballeros, hombres bien caballeros, and for the most part, they pay everything. Pero in return, the types of things that I do is, I'll make dinner for you. Cuando salgas del trabajo, la cena ya está lista, te echo lonche. I have your beers for you at the house. But
Mírala.
that's
Yeah.
that. Pero cuando salgo, y si tú me estás invitando, I want to feel like a lady. But in return, I'm going to make you feel
Yeah,
special.
Yes.
But so, are you ever gonna invite?
You know what? If I invite, I'm going to pay. And I have gone on dates where I'll get up to the bathroom, and I don't want to have this fight, so I pay. I go to the bathroom, and I pay. And when I come back and sit down, he's like, ¿Ya pagaste? I'm like, ¿Ya pagué?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Sí.
That's
But for the
Very
most
nice.
part, we want our guy
surprising.
to
Yeah,
be
that's
like,
intuitive.
But I think that's at a point where you feel like, okay, he
But-
deserves for me to
Yes.
pay.
But how many
he
dates then?
earned it.
For-
It depends.
I think for
depends
me,
on how
I
it-
for me at least 5 dates.
Every weekend?
No, pues, quién sabe. But in return, I'm doing things, So the podcast that I was watching, that guy was saying, and they were good-looking guys. He's like, at least on the 15th date, 15th, mis Mexican buddies. No sé de dónde eran ellos. Pero on the 15th date es cuando él ya esperaba que la girl ofreciera. 15th date. I think that's a little
15 dates, he actually had that number?
much.
That's a
Wow.
good
Well, no,
number.
that's
That's a
what he's
science right
saying.
there,
What
right?
ra-
That's
what-
like $1,500 into
I
it.
know, right? What race is this? What race is this?
No sé, hablaban así
What was
con
his
un
background?
acento.
He must have had some
Yeah.
good.
Sí, se me hace que eran French. Ay, no se crean, no sé.
Yeah, but what if it's a guy that's working a 9-to-5 job?
Entonces,
And then he shouldn't find
That,
a high
don't-
valued woman.
exactly.
Don't go if you can't afford her.
exactly.
Ooh, high value
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah. Or date
so,
date
so now
according
it's
That's a good
Yeah,
topic.
materialistic.
date according
No. It date according to your status.
To your paycheck?
To your paycheck. Absolutely. And you know what? We're being real.
Why?
Yeah, we're being
Oh,
real.
man.
Really?
Okay, question.
Wow,
Échale, Joe.
I got a question.
Now that
That's-
sounds
no, no, no,
shallow
no,
to
no,
me,
no,
though.
no.
Joe has a question.
So, vamos a suponer que las damas encuentran a alguien que se porta súper bien, las trata súper bien, bien caballeroso, pero porque está jodido, lo van a juzgar.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
Yo sí.
I mean, es
That's
lo que se
definitely
oye,
what it-
es lo que
No,
se
yo
oye.
sí.
No.
So let
I
me
mean-
hear
It
this
just
point of
depends,
view.
because if they're, si se están quejando, sí, then find somebody that's at your level.
Exactly.
Pero si no se están quejando, then it's different.
Y sabes que that's an excellent question. Sí, I hope to date and be with a partner who can afford a dinner a week. And if he can't, pues una raspita, Bahama Bucks, una yogurt, let's go walk in the park. Pero I
Okay.
think that I'm at a point in my life where no que quiero, ay, llévame al Texas Roadhouse o llévame al Chick-fil-A y cómprame mi gluten-free sandwich.
So that guy would be a project. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't want a project. Like I'm too, like I want somebody who's a little
mean,
more
if you
emotionally,
don't have-
financially stable.
If he's not financially stable,
Yeah.
shit, and if I really like him, shit, we can work together. We can get there, right?
No, you know.
But if it's someone
Okay.
that nomás está quejando, like, oh no, 'cause
No.
this and that, then
No.
keep stepping. Ve, búscate una que.
Ya llevo $500 gastados.
Yeah.
Well, and because
No,
that's
pero sí es
something.
cierto.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
And like, are you gonna go to? It's
Okay.
like going to Macy's, Dillard's.
Sí.
Then if you can't
Pues
afford
vete
that,
al
then
Ross,
let that, yeah,
vete al
Ross.
Al Ross.
Pero do you guys
there's
judge
nothing wrong
us?
with Ross.
No,
No, there
no.
isn't.
But do y'all judge us for? Como nosotros, yeah, we're professional women. It took years to get to the point where we're at. I hope to date
Tears.
somebody at our level, like our level. I'm not saying you have to take me to all these bougie restaurants. No, como te digo, llévame al Texas
but that
Roadhouse.
happens. Some females are like that.
Sí,
Yeah, they
Pero-
want, and then it's not just one a week. It's 2, 3
Por eso,
times a week, and
yeah.
then that's where.
Yeah.
me encantan estas conversaciones, y'all. Literally, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for allowing us into your time. The future podcasts are going to be censored on dating do's and don'ts. I want to have a all male cast to where we discuss what they're encountering. I also want to invite the younger public because ahorita pues nosotros ya, 40s, 50s. But I do want to bring along, I really want to touch base with our community and see what we're going through. There's been a lot of separation through the COVID, our bonds are breaking, and we want a no judgment zone. So please follow us, subscribe, a penny for your thoughts, and I want to thank my cast, thank my panel, my dearest friends. Any last thoughts, my friends, or any points that you all want to make that our community can follow us? We really want to do this for y'all.
No, I mean, I just want to thank you. I appreciate you inviting me and having me on the show. I mean, it's
It's not our last
something
one,
new.
eh?
No,
Albert
no.
Avila.
Hey, of course not there, Laura Chavez.
Laura
Yeah.
Chavez.
No, it's not. Just thank you for having me
Sí,
personally. And,
sí.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you,
It's
de
been
veras. I know times our schedules are crazy. Y'all, anything? Any last
Thank you
comments?
to the production,
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah,
Linda.
thank you, Joe and
Joe and
Linda.
Linda.
Thank
Definitely,
you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And
Couldn't
the
be done
audience.
without you guys.
Yeah.
The
And you have a
audience.
great setup here.
Sí, sí.
It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Ay, nos encanta. Y la Linda, te vamos a poner un mic, mi Linda.
Yes.
Allá nomás, so people who can't see Linda, her gestures, her comments, like her face.
Yeah.
Linda is an amazing,
Behind the
amazing
scene.
behind the scenes camera woman.
Ya,
Without
no le
Linda,
digan
no
mucho
happen.
si no se la va a creer.
Son los
Ahorita
dynamics
ya
que
va a estar,
tenemos.
ya ves lo
Ahorita
que
que se
dijo.
cierre el que we stop going live es cuando comenzamos los dynamics. Y my dear friend.
And I just thank you. Obviously, I think it was great to meet everybody and talk about this. Knowing where we come from and what we do, I think it's beautiful what you're doing because obviously a lot of people don't have access to certain things, and I think this is an amazing platform to be able to grow and share things that are truly beneficial for people. Which ultimately that's what you want to impact
Sí.
people in life.
Yeah.
So this is a great platform. I know you're going to do great.
I thank you. And I
Yes.
want to do it with all you guys. So please, you guys join me.
You know
and
I'm here for you, Minnie.
Sí. Oh,
Yeah,
me and my
whenever.
mini. Sí.
I'm a text or phone call away.
No, yo y el Albert nos
Text.
hablamos horas. no, Albert. I have
Tengo two
Yeah.
questions de lo que preguntaron.
Eso.
Oh,
So, el primero viene de Susie.
mi
¿Quieres saber
we miss you.
why does the date have to cost the man? There's dates that you can take her on without costing anything if you are really into her.
Love
That's
Right.
a good point.
yes.
that. I absolutely
Beautiful
love that.
question.
Yes.
And who's that directed to? Do we want the man?
Whoever, I mean, no dice.
Bueno, if I may. Gracias, mi Susie Q. We miss you. Susie couldn't be with us today. She was supposed to be with us. No, it doesn't have to cost you anything. It might cost you a cheap bottle of wine and a nice little bowl
stroll
of
in the park.
fruit, but a park, a
Stroll in the
walk in the
park.
park, a quick picnic, una botellita de wine. You don't even have to buy a charcuterie, nada. But to us, it's the planning, it's the gaming,
Them
like
planning it.
you plan it.
Planning it.
Sácala, or you know what? A drive to Trans Mountain to see the sunset is
So
going to
you're
cost
saying
you
those
2 White
drive-throughs
Claws.
Scenic
have a
drive.
chance.
No, like how amazing, how
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Something
Everybody can go to
planned
dinner.
out like that and simple. That's better than a fancy dinner.
Exactly, completely. It's not
So you're not going to
sterile.
complain that you're hungry.
No, porque
We can go to Chick-fil-A afterwards.
al cometa, vámonos.
Cometa, los
Or
tacos.
you're
Have
not,
a-
you're not going to
latas.
complain that this guy's a cheapskate.
You know what? Honestly,
Good question.
that
Mama.
that thoughtfulness of saying, would you mind going on a drive to Trans Mountain? Let's watch the sunset.
Oh,
Ooh, a
that's
mí ya me
beautiful.
ganaron.
Yes, yes.
A mí me ganaron.
How many
Yes,
sunsets are you
sunset
okay
or a
with
walk.
before you want a nice
A meal,
thick steak?
yeah.
Me personally, you're asking?
Just in general, because if he can't afford a nice,
Even it-
dinner, then
No, but
where
he
does
can
it- where
cook
do you
for
draw
me
the line?
too.
Oh, but
You
I don't
still
want to
gotta
go
buy
to.
that $25 steak to cook for you.
So would you
No.
guys
And-
enjoy
and-
that?
and
like,
would you-
Sí, pero eventually, I
Yeah,
gotta
or
have a
even
dinner.
even a cook
Being
dinner.
super shallow here. Not that I'm shallow, pero eventually you do. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm older, so I don't think that I could go
So
out.
one of the things I wanted
But-
to share earlier, I think, is that you have to find the person that not just by looks or we get along great. You sometimes outgrow people. I personally would have a hard time dating somebody that is not, somewhat educated and has a certain view of certain things. You know what I mean? And it's just not being shallow. It's just that that's how we're gonna relate, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not putting down people that aren't educated or anything like that. You just have to know what you want. That's what I would say, right? And in this question specifically, I think you just have to know who the person is, right? There's very empowered women that will not allow you to pay for their plate. You just got to respect that, right? And then there's other women that are just very traditional and they
Open the
expect
door
you to
for
pay.
me. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Sí,
So-
sí, sí.
There's certain things that I want to allow to get paid. I'm not gonna say what, but it's like because I don't want to feel like I owe them
Oh
anything.
yeah, sí. We've had this.
Yes, we've had this
discussions where we're
conversation
like,
before. Yeah.
¿Te acuerdas la uña? Pero we won't go there. What's the next question, Joe?
Esa pregunta la quiero hacer yo. Porque yo sé que a lo mejor no va a ser el mismo panel,
Okay.
but what's the worst date, que han estado? Like, without saying names, just a real quick, like, this happened, or...
Ay, Maria. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I never dated Maria.
I'm gonna answer straight up. I've never really ever had a bad date. I kill first dates, so I appreciate the question. I'm thinking, pero
Oh, I did.
yeah, I've never
I
had a
did.
bad date.
I would say one-way conversations. That's the worst.
I
I've
said
had.
that
Nothing
he
really
forgot
major.
his wallet and we can borrow.
Oh,
You had that happen?
Yes.
Oh.
actually, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
Yeah,
I had that in my 30s. Se me
I was
olvidó
like,
la
really?
cartera
But
at Chili's. Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
That's
think I
an
can
excellent-
recall a specific date. It's just, but I mean, I've had some that you're just like, oh, this is great, and then you kind of like they just open their mouth, and you're like, oh, this is not. Sorry, this
Yeah.
is that bad. You know what I
Where
mean? So
you're
it's
like, and did you go
this
for
isn't
drinks
work.
afterwards?
No.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
you
like,
wanna
let
end
me
it.
finish this
Sí.
salad so I can leave. I'm
Pues
just
me
kidding.
tomo
It was a
mi
steak.
White Claw ahí enfrente de la Netflix. But I think, Minnie, oh my God,
talking
this
about that
was years ago. Se le olvidó la cartera a Chili's. Ay, no manches. Come on. Y lo
You had to pay?
No.
I paid. And then we had to go home to his mom's house where he lived. Parecía niñero.
Oh, you all were double dating? Or something?
No, me by myself.
Oh.
This gentleman invited me to Chili's and
Oh,
we went and
I
sat
thought
at
they
the
were
bar.
together, too. I was like,
No, se le olvidó la cartera y luego me dice, well, you know what? We have to go to my mom's. I always drive on my first dates. So He's like, we have to go to my mom's house and pick up my wallet. Pues ahí vamos. Y lo que entro y el kinder, there were kids from everywhere. And I was like,
Of all ages.
so he was wanting a baby mama.
Dang.
There was no date or
I have a question for Belle.
Échale.
Belle, so you said that you wouldn't mind if they cooked for you.
Yeah.
So you would be comfortable going to their house? Or to
After
your
how
house?
many dates? Belle?
Yeah, I mean, on the first
Yeah.
date?
Even the second
or
date.
Not if they live with mom, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, not with mama. No, I don't want mama cooking.
Yeah.
Maybe later if the relationship got serious. But no, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Just curious on.
Sí.
It's cheaper too.
¿Qué pasa,
Yeah,
mi
yeah.
Joe?
No,
Otra
I'm good.
preguntita.
And then it's like home cooked and it's like, wine.
If you like his cooking, though.
And if you like the guy, like I
That's so
personally will
romantic.
not go to anybody's house like on the second day.
Hey man, some women
Yeah.
would love that you hunted something, you cut it up, and you
Yeah,
cooked it for them.
actually-
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that has happened. I mean,
Okay.
some women do like that, and I've noticed. I mean, not that I've had it that happen to me, but
Right.
I've seen a whole bunch of shows and talked to people that have wives or girlfriends that
Yeah.
love that. They
So
love
we have
being-
two carnivorous men on the platform.
I'm gonna go have a steak
today.
tonight.
Eso. Bueno, ahorita una celebración.
That where we going?
Sí.
Sure,
Pero
I'm not gonna
bueno.
beat a vegetarian there, but
There's no vegetarian. Little gluten free, pero podemos.
Vámonos al parque.
Vamos a ver el
Escalante
sunset. Ya está bajando el sol.
Right?
Pero really, community, mil gracias for joining us. And please share your comments, subscribe. SNLO02, Psycho Uncensored Productions, Linda, Joe, gracias. Thank you for opening the door for us. Leave your comments, subscribe to Psycho Uncensored Productions. Give us questions that we can talk about. If one day you all think that you have something to add to the platform, why not? Join us. Pero gracias. A penny for your thoughts.
And if you have a question for either one of us, be free to tag us.
Yes.
Belle or Maribel Unique on Facebook.
Albert Avila on Facebook.
Angel Moreno Ruiz on Facebook.
And we're gonna put it on our.
Y todos solteros.
Sí.
Well, it's complicated.
Let's talk about it. Remember
Right.
that's
You
one
have
of
to
our
put us on the
mantras.
spot, man.
Let's talk about it. A penny for your thoughts. Gracias, mi gente.
Peace out.